Okay, I'm gonna try and get over the tan channel right now.
Oh, my
Again.
images are... The images have changed. Bear with.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
We are present. Hello.
Okay. Hello.
I'm doing editing of the images, even though the stream started, which is uber unprofessional.
And I'm just copying and pasting links.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. We have a couple of
Posting
more.
all the social
We have a couple more
stuff.
moments before anybody shows up to watch this.
Speed run. Okay, speed run. Do 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 do.
That's right. Anyway, oh wait, I need to get rid of the game and open it up. Because the game is meant to be a surprise, even though it was on the screen when I... See,
Oh,
live streaming, ladies and gentlemen.
there we go.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome.
Utsuita-chan.
Oh, well.
Ifee. Dina. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Really great to see you. Yeet.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are doing all right. Welcome to the show. My name is Vanwood, and I'm joined today by DragonFire1000.
Yo, 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 what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Van.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dragon and I have been sharing stories of YouTube channels made for dogs, which is glorious. I wonder, are we allowed to like share links into YouTube chat? I don't know if that's ever been a thing that's allowed.
I could try it.
You can certainly try.
I'll try.
Dragon has,
Fail.
yeah, Dragon has a YouTube channel for their dog, which is crazy. But yeah, cool.
Shameless self-promotion confirmed for my dog.
Dragon really quiet compared to James in terms of audio feedback. Let me just check here.
That's actually surprising considering how loud I usually am.
Let me turn Discord up a bit. Try again.
Hello, hello.
Is that more better? Is that more better?
Okay, let's see. Here's the dog channel. I don't know if that worked, but here you go.
If not, one of us can, Vanwood.
Oh, I'm sliding all over the place. Oh god, why?
That's true.
Chair.
Can I get some feedback from someone in the viewing public about the audio levels? Do I need to do more?
Breaker 19. Can you hear me?
Better. This is better. Excellent. I'm glad that we were able to overcome this technical issue with the combined
Oh, yes.
power of our might. Thank you, no one. Cool.
Oh yes, baby.
Welcome back
That's
to the
right.
stream. This is for those of you who are uninitiated. This is a regular streaming series that we've been doing since about March time, called The Fandom Lives. I mean, the first season was a year ago, and that was from like March until like September-ish. We took a break, and then this is almost our second season. Our attempt to be kind of consistent with a streaming series of regularity. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun talking to a bunch of different content creators about creativity, what they do, how they do it, the journey that we're all on together. Yeah, very cool. And obviously, Dragon, you are, I mean, what's your main creative output these days?
It's basically animation and drawing, essentially.
Okay. And if you look in the description below, you can see all of the links to socials, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, Dusky, you're right. We had a bit of a hiatus for a few weeks while I was on holiday. I went to an island called the Isle of Wight, off the south coast of England, and did a bunch of other things. Saw friends and family too. So thank you for bearing with me. And yeah. This may be one of the... To be honest, actually, we had a hiatus, but this may be one of the last episodes of the second season, really, because, yeah, I'm kind of running out of guests. I'll talk about what the plan is for the future in a few moments, but I'll go through the arbitrary and regular announcements before we begin. Indeed, Undertale Souls, I like them. They're colourful. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for bearing with us. Yeah, do keep it kind and respectful in the chat. There might not be many of us, but we can build a bit of a community here together, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you guys. Thank you so much for your help already. Yeah, we'll be taking questions throughout the stream. Do ask us. Please don't be offended if I don't see it. Dragon, do your best to find questions as well in chat. Yeah, but bear in mind, obviously, there's a lot of moving parts to this. So if I don't see it, I apologize.
Someone asked me how old I am, and I'm 28 years old. Going to be 29 Christmas Eve, baby.
Whoa! Congrats. What's it like? What's it like having a birthday right next to Christmas?
Well, when I was younger, it was awesome because I got double the gifts. But now that, everyone's kind of, getting older, you get less gifts. So it's kind of like, oh, I don't like the cold. If I had a summer birthday, I would definitely trade it.
Vanwood reminds me of Papyrus. Now, that's an interesting point, no one. I don't know why you may feel this way. Okay, TwoAllNighters merch. Second announcement is on sale. Look in the link below for our Teespring page. Lots of stuff on sale, including very tasteful jackets, facial protection masks. In the UK, the mandate for wearing masks doesn't exist anymore, but I'm still wearing mine with pride because I like it. It's a stylish addition to my repertoire. Repertoire? I don't even know if that's the right word. Anyway, cool. I have a face mask, which is topical and super safe. If you're looking for a face mask that will certainly make you the coolest kid in the Zoom call mask class, definitely check it out. That's a little bit of a dated line, but never mind. Cool. Number 4, we're basically coming to the end of the list of guests that we had prepared for this season. We may have an idea for a kind of final episode that I'll talk about in a moment. But if you would like someone to feature on the Fandom Lives in the future, maybe on a future season, depending if we run one of these again, let me know. Jump onto the fan server. I'm perfectly happy to be added. Because, frankly, I just like the notion that someone wants to talk to me. So thank you very much in advance. Usually I do go onto the Tan Voice chat in the fan server just to say hi and to hang out briefly. I'm not really going to have much time tonight because I need to get to Brighton as soon as this stream is done. Because I'm a busy bee. Namely, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I have to get down this evening in order for an early start tomorrow because we're having like a in real life game for the first time since lockdown started, and we want to start quite early, so I'm heading down tonight, and I'm actually really stoked for it. We're going to talk about D&D, by the way. Have you played D&D?
I am familiar with it. I've never really played, actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dragon.
I know. My cousins play it though.
Dragon, I'm going to run you again. Anyway, that's for another time. Cool. Yeah. Last of all, thank you so much to Nick Nitro, who arranged the theme song we are about to hear together, as well as the awesome art of Wishful Vixen, who produced the artwork of me that you can see on the right hand of your screen, and the artwork of DragonFire1000 for the artwork of themselves that you can see on the left. Hey.
Wait.
Thank you for making the artwork of yourself.
Not a problem.
It was
and
really good.
You know, when you're mentioning Brighton, there's actually a Brighton district in my city, believe it or not.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Interesting. That's good to know. Oh, and also
somebody said they wanted to get me a birthday present. That's sweet.
Ah, that's very sweet. I would like. I just want to say I'm open for birthday presents as well. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, yeah. Also, I'm going to be playing a different game. We have been playing in the background while I've been talking on the Fandom Lives. Deltarune. Actually finished it last time. So I'm going to be playing something else today. Thank you so much to Taxi Derby. There is also a link in the description below to the Undertale fan game that we are playing today. Hopefully, I will be able to sell it to you this evening because it's great. That took a while. Oh. Thanks for coming, everybody. No, I'm kidding. We are going to get started. Now, before we go into any further ado and discussion, the arbitrary introduction sequence of arbitrariness is incoming, and it's very exciting. So enjoy, and welcome back to the Fandom Lives. Dynamics. I feel like, oh, hang on, I need to find the right file.
Dragon without a dungeon.
Oh, I don't want to open that one. I want to open this one. And maybe it's going to work. Welcome back, everybody. Hello.
Welcome.
Hope you enjoyed that. Dragon, how are you doing?
I am doing just lovely, Vanwood.
Oh, that's great to hear. Great to hear. Is this working? Aha! It's working. We have it on the screen.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and it's just a lovely day in Canada.
Absolutely. You said that you've had the day off today, right?
Oh, absolutely, yep.
I'm
enjoying every minute of it.
Totally. Have you done anything in
Cleaning.
particular today? Oh, just cleaning. Okay.
Mainly, yeah. I was going to animate, but then I was like, well, this talk show's going up. But then I was like, why don't I animate while doing the talk show? Then I'm like, no, I'll get distracted.
Okay. That actually might have been quite neat. I mean, you might be able to, I don't know, it depends on what you're doing after this. If we jump into the VC for a few minutes, it might be cool for the people watching to maybe get an insight into how you do animation. I don't know. This might be an imposition, but
I don't mind showing people a little bit of tips, you know? There might be some very new people who want to try animation and see what it's about. Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't mind at all.
So if we jump into VC after this, I'll only be around for a few minutes, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll be really great.
I do have some handy tutorials on my channel too, so people can see kind of how I do things. I do explain it. I was thinking about remaking them because I'm just like so wordy, blah blah blah. Hey, do this, do that, blah 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 blah.
Ooh. I'm not very good at this game. I've forgotten how it works. But yeah, cool. Let's begin. So just for the sake of clarity, because a few more people have joined us since we've started, who the devil are you? And what's your main... Yeah, and what's your main sort of creative output and work, and what would you consider yourself to be? How would you define yourself?
So basically, I'm a YouTuber, and I'm an animator, I guess you could say. My name's DragonFire1000, by the way. Most people know me as Dragon, and I've been doing this shindig for like probably 11 years. Started back in 2010, just actually a few months before PewDiePie started his channel, and then just kind of started with Invader Zim and Jonan Vasquez content, went to Sonic, and then to Undertale, where we are today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one of those do you think has had the most of an impact?
Oh, definitely Undertale, 100%. Like, starting off, it was probably more Invader Zim. Like, I did a couple of Invader Zim Pet Day animations. It took me, like, 4 months to do, and then there was that AMV I did with Earth Invasion by Skillet, and that kind of started things, so I was, like, seeing where I was starting at 5 subscribers, then it went to 100, and then to 200. Then once I got into Undertale, that's when things just shot up, and I was going from, like, 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000, now to, like, 48,000, I think, or something like that nowadays.
Man. Okay. How do you explain that? Is it simply the popularity of Undertale as you were creating, or do you think there was something that you were bringing
Honestly, I don't know. Like, it was just like the most weirdest things that I think wouldn't have gained traction. Gained traction. Like, there's that one animation I did with Snowball Fight Gone Wrong that was animated, and it was done by another comic dubber, and it exploded. It's like what 6 million views. Then I did a random animation because people were asking me how Sans' head became a gaster blaster, and I was like, "Oh, this is an annoying question. Let's make an animation out of it." So there's literally Sans snapping his neck and pulling it off, changing it for gas blaster and blowing up. That went to 3 million views, and I'm just like, how? Why? And then I have animations where I spend like 6 months or a year and a half on, and they don't get near as many views.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just I can't explain it, man. It's just so weird.
You know, a year ago I talked to Gail Rice, who's an animator as well, and they talked about something similar that happened where they're in their most popular animation by a long shot is something that they put a comparatively tiny amount of time in to,
Yeah,
and
legit.
it how frustrated they were by that fact. That's something that they put way more time and effort, and they really feel like, oh, this thing that I've done represents so much more time and effort and energy, and I feel like it's so much better, but it's not getting as much traction as this thing that I spent, a week on.
See, I'm not really frustrated by that. I just more just kind of pleasantly surprised because, it's still bringing in money. It's doing decent, but I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess that happened. But I always do put a lot of effort in my animations no matter what, even if it's something that seems so mundane and low effort. I just, as long as I'm enjoying them, I'm not frustrated one bit.
Yeah. And would you say that you enjoy it?
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's some animations I get to a point and I'm like, oh, I hate doing this scene. This scene sucks. So I go and I actually jump onto another animation I'm working on and then go to that. And then when that gets to that point, I'll jump back to that other animation. Like, right now, as of currently at the stream, I think I've got like 5 animation projects on the fly here. So I've got a big collab I'm finishing off. I had some collaborators who kind of broke off because they had commitments IRL that they couldn't finish their part. And then I got one with Alphys clapping her butt cheeks for Blair that I gotta do yet. And then there's yeah, that one's gonna be a really good one. I'm excited, and I think I got Blair voice acting Alphys in that, so I'm excited for that one. And then there's one where Nightmare is kind of getting made fun of for being a tree spirit, and they're like, "What is he like the Lorax? He speaks for the trees." And then he grabs what was it, Killer and Dust by the neck, and then yeets them into oblivion.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. And then there's also a 9/11 joke, but I don't know if that's worth sharing here.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like I got all these different projects, and then I just work on them when I feel like it, and then bounce between them, and then, yeah, just whatever comes out, the old pooper brain.
No one is saying seems like hard work is useless when it comes to YouTube.
No.
What do you think about that?
Like, I don't know, like, I just do what I do, and, like, if people don't like it, they don't like it. Like, I get a lot of people coming on my live streams being like, oh, hey, you got a dislike, you don't have a lot of streamers and all that, and I'm like, you know what? It's not about the views. I mean, yes, in a sense it does, because it does help me with a lot of financial stuff. Like, if it wasn't for YouTube, I'd be really struggling right now, so there's that. But like, I just do whatever I want, and when I stream, it's like, you can come here if you want to watch me stream. I know it's not everyone's slice of pie to sit in a live stream, watch someone draw and say boring things, so I'm just kind of like, I do what I do, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, go on, move away. And if you like it, awesome. Like, I do recall one situation too. I'm going off on a tangent here, of
Go for
course,
it.
but I had someone come into my stream, and I was animating Error's chocolate bar. It was like this 2-part animation I did where, I don't know if you're familiar with Mama CQ, but she had that thing with Ask Error where Blueberry and Error were in the void, and Error steals a chocolate bar and gives it to Blue, and then he eats it with his tentacle tongues and gets freaked out. Someone thought I was shipping Blue and Error, and they got so freaked out and angry. I actually drew a very cringely, badly drawn drawing of them embracing each other, to say it lightly.
Oh, wow.
And it was so funny. They freaked out so hard, and I'm just sitting here laughing like, ha ha, you sucker.
Wow.
I'm such an a-hole.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's clearly an example of somebody who might be taking the whole AU thing a bit too seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're
definitely.
kind of relaxed about that kind of stuff. But, like, you've talked about animations that you've done about like the different versions of Sans and stuff. What is it about the AUs? What is it that makes that appealing? Why do you choose to do animations with those characters?
Well, to be honest with you, I've kind of started waning in interest with Undertale, like the actual vanilla Undertale for a while, but I found the AUs, like certain AUs, they have their own creative spins on it in a way that's not focused directly on Sans. Like, take, for example, Horror Tale. It's actually an interesting horror type spin on the series, and it's not just strictly focused at Sans. All the characters are at some play at some point or another, and it's got some really gory bits and some really brutal gore, I'll tell you. And it's so well written. And then there was like Dreamtale. It's like they were Sans, but they're not anymore. They're like two entities of a tree, and then the one brother kind of, however, becomes this goopy octopus, and then it's this whole implication and onto other different alternate versions of whatever kind of thing. And then there's Error, my personal favorite, where he used to be a Sans too, but now he's his own character. He's this black skeleton hobo thing with strings that comes out of his eyes and can destroy whole universes if he was really competent, and he has been competent. So I really like that dynamic.
Okay, so it's like lots of different versions of Sans, all of whom really have dramatically different personalities, making them, in truth, just different characters, really.
Well, no, it's not even strictly about Sans specifically. It's just the way the AU is written. Like, I'm not a fan of Sans, straightly Sans AUs. Like, it's just too many people do that. But I like ones where people embrace, like, actually taking the whole entire AU and exploring other characters. Like, for example, there's that one person who made the Epic Tale. They used to have it focused on Epic Sans, but then they got to the point where they hated Sans so much that they pretty much cast him out and killed him at the beginning. And now it's all these other different characters. Like, you got Epic Muffet and Epic Papyrus, and they're really enjoyable. And I like that kind of stuff where they deviate away from Sans-focused AUs.
Do you watch any other animators' takes on these AUs?
Yeah, I have actually. Like, I've seen quite a few animated memes that are really well done. Like, there's a couple of people in my server who have shared really good memes. Like, It's Lemon is one of my friends. She's done a few animations. She actually helped on my collaboration for a bit there. And then there's Avocado Dragon. She made some really cool animations as well too with AUs, and it was really cool. And like, yeah, they're not really a big presence compared to me, but it's stuff like that that's really cool. And it's like, oh man, these are awesome. But yeah, no, there's definitely been some influence with other people animating comic dubs and stuff. And then of course when I saw the TwoAllNighters content and decided to animate that stuff, I just like immediately pictured the voices, and I just pictured these different scenarios of things that could all happen too.
Yeah. Have you watched Crumbs? What am I thinking of? So like it sounds like you're really kind of coming out to bat for animators that might not necessarily have as much traction as you did, because you've said that you kind of, I don't know, thinking about like the big view counts that you've made reference to earlier on, those are huge.
Yeah.
Why do you think you had so many views on those projects that you were doing? And like I guess I'm also interested, like when were they coming out again? Was that early on? Was that relatively recently? When did they come out?
Well, I can't really pinpoint where it exploded, because like I had moments where it exploded and some points where it did. Like when I first started into YouTube back in 2010, like long way ago, I know I'm dating myself here, I did an Invader Zim animations, and they had some really good like peaks, but it didn't really kick off all that much. And then I did my Johnny the Homicidal Maniac animation. I'm not going to say the actual title of it because it's dealing with the S word, and I don't want to say that. But yeah, that one picked up quite a bit of views, and this is when I was animating on Flash at the time, and that gained a lot of traction. And then next thing you know, I started doing Undertale, and then that's where things really just exploded. And I was like, holy crap, like I'm looking at this, and one day it's like 5,000, next thing it's 10, and I'm like, oh, well, this is working, and I like making this, so I'm gonna keep doing this.
Was that like 2016, 2017?
Oh gosh, man, I couldn't even remember. I've been on YouTube for 11 years, and I couldn't even pinpoint it. I'd have to look at my analytics.
That's a long time. Wow.
Oh yeah, I feel old, man. Where'd my 20s go?
Oh God, please don't ask me that question. Crumbs. Before I double back to what we were talking about, I'm going to go off on a tangent as well. Have you heard of a comedian called Bo Burnham?
No.
Okay, so there's a Netflix special that came out about a month or two ago by a comedian called Bo Burnham that he wrote and shot and directed and edited all himself in a single room to represent the kind of oppressive climate of being stuck inside during lockdown.
Oh.
So all the things that he's done is just in a single space. And it's a bunch of songs and skits and stuff. One of them is about the fact that he's turned 30 in lockdown.
Oh.
Now I relate to that because I turned 30 in lockdown.
Oh no.
So you asked me the question, oh, where did my 20s go? Don't you dare. Oh man. No.
Oh, I feel so bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I feel like I'm quite surprised actually, because obviously you've been in the server for a while. I didn't realize that you were as old as you are.
Yeah.
So that's
it's...
yeah. I feel like we could kind of exchange war stories a little bit of like creating on the internet and yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think we can. 90s kids, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What was the first Pokemon game you played?
Oh man, dude, my family couldn't even afford a Game Boy Advance until like freaking the Game Boy SP days.
Yes.
Remember those?
Yeah. That was exciting because they had lights behind the screen,
Yeah.
so you could play it in the dark.
Oh, dude. Speaking of lights in the game, remember the Game Gear?
Oh crumbs! I never played it. I was aware, but I never played it.
I've only played it a couple times because my dad's friends had kids that we were friends with, and I got to borrow it and play it. And I remember the very first game was like this Sonic game with where you could play as Tails or Sonic. And I remember if you played as Sonic, there was this place you couldn't even pass, and it was so frustrating. And it was like, I can't remember what it was called though. But that was the only mobile game I played. Like I didn't get a game like a handheld system until. When was the SP? Like 2000 something. And the first game I ever played was like Pokemon Sapphire.
Sapphire. Oh wow, that's Gen 3, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So I played the originals. I played Gen 1. I played Gen 2, and actually Gen 3 was where I kind of stopped playing them. I played the first two gens religiously, and I've actually got if I say this on a stream, I'm probably going to get contacted by the FBI. But I have an emulator on my phone with Crystal on it. Crystal is the Pokemon Yellow equivalent from Gen 2.
Oh, okay.
And it was exciting, that game, because it was still the original Game Boy Color, but you could choose to play as a boy or a girl for the first time, which was very exciting. And when you caught Pokemon and when you sent them out in battle, little animations played. They weren't just static images anymore. They had like little movements to them, which was super exciting. Like, oh my god! So that's on my phone, and I have a Nuzlocke game going on at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan. Anyway, we're getting off. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say, like, the last Pokemon game I ever played was Black. I still have it. I still have my old BS yet too. If I can find the charger, I can still play it.
Yeah.
But no. Other than that, like, I just had the Sega Genesis. That was my only game system. But most time, my version of gameplay was jumping on bales and playing with farm animals.
That's fair enough. But I want to double back to like these huge view counts, the massive traction you gained in a very short space of time doing Undertale content. Do you consider those to be like the big break? Was this how you knew that things were working for you, or did you just not care?
I honestly didn't care. Like, when I saw my views shoot up and my, my subscribers jump up, I never, ever in a million days would think that I would gain the ability to monetize my channel. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this for fun, whatever. And then I started seeing my view count up, and I'm like, oh, people like my stuff. Cool. I'm going to keep doing this. And I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and doing what I did for those whole 10 years. And then eventually the views just shot up, and I was like, holy crap. And I remember when I first got the mail, like letter in the mail from YouTube saying, hey, you can monetize your content. And I'm like, is this real? Or is this BS? Like, there's no way. And I know before that I had gotten an email from Google and I was like, this has got to be a scam. There's no way I can monetize my content. So then I went and looked at the letter and I went and did the prompts I did. And then lo and behold, my channel was getting monetized. And I'm like, holy crap, this actually is legit. I'm actually making money on it. And I remember too, when I just got my content monetized, like my dad was like, oh, well, you're not going to make any money from that. You make $1. Well, that's not going to do anything. You're not going to make any bread and butter off that. But I didn't listen to those advice. Like, I didn't listen to that. And then when I had a certain individual come in my life, she was very like, oh, well, you don't do YouTube. It's a waste of your time. You're not going to get anywhere with it. But I kept plugging away and I didn't listen to that. And this is where I am today. And it's just a valuable lesson to everyone that if people tell you not to do something that you really love to do, don't listen to them. Like, just let it go in out one ear and out the other, and just do what you want to do. As long as it doesn't hurt you or others, keep plugging away, man. Just don't let people tell you can't do something.
That's an awesome message. I'm really sorry to hear that you had that message though. Like, I don't know. In my experience, I guess I've been quite fortunate, really. But I suppose because my main creative sort of pursuit is through a voiceover. And obviously, the main contact that you have with people through voiceover is through auditioning for projects. And you either don't hear back from content creators at all because you don't get the part, or you hear a, yes, be part of this. We think you're really great. And, that's a positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
So I guess my experience of sort of actually being told in sincerity, don't do this, in the way that you have, that kind of makes me a bit angry, to be honest. I'm sorry that happened to you.
It is what it is. Like, you just gotta move on and say, you know what, that happened in the past, and just to walk through it and, say, hey, I didn't give up. I didn't have these people tell me I don't. And even now, like, my dad sees it and he's like, oh, good job, Zim. Like, awesome job. Zim is my nickname, by the way. But yeah, he was actually like, oh yeah, you actually did good. That's pretty awesome. Like, yeah. And I guess the fact is too is that he was with somebody that was kind of just not really good for us. Like, she was kind of toxic, so that didn't help anything. But he's kind of coming around now, which is great.
That is good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just took a lot of perseverance, and I got through it.
Yeah. And all the best for the future for that, because obviously it's so important having like a strong foundation on which you can build. Because I don't know, creative work is much harder if there isn't a secure place from which you can do it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I even tell people like, oh, well, you got someone hating on your videos, and I'm like, you know what? That's one person. That's one drop in the ocean. One drop of pee in a big ocean. Nobody's gonna notice it. Whatever kind of thing. And I guess in a way, I can say in a positive way, it's made me stronger. And I know there's that Katy Perry song. It's like, what kills you doesn't make you stronger. It's true. But it does hurt. But, like, you just kind of got to come through it and be like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be happy doing it. And that's pretty much, that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you've kind of given some insight into one of the main questions that I ask every one of our guests, like, throughout the whole series. And that is about this whole balancing creating things that you think will get traction. You obviously have a connection to that motivation because this is a source of kind of financial remuneration to you. This is something that you kind of do rely on to, at least to an extent. I know that you have a job, but this is another source of income. Yeah, this will be one of them, right?
3. No,
okay, so it's one of the income streams that you have. So obviously, when you make something, you are thinking about whether or not it's going to have traction, because that will generate more revenue. But at the same time,
absolutely.
Just give me a sec, because I'm just almost thinking as I'm talking, so just bear with me. There's also, I guess, a strong impression that I'm getting from you throughout this entire discussion, that at least you're trying not to care about that kind of thing, and just to do things because you enjoy them.
Absolutely.
I guess, what's the balance like between those two? How do you balance that?
I just kind of, like I said, I am kind of like a loose cannon. I just do what I want to do, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I don't see failure as a bad thing. I see it as a thing to say, you know what? Hey, this didn't work. That's fine. I'll learn from it. And, that's what it is. And I wish school would teach this because they really don't. They teach you to fear, and it's so wrong. Me, it's like, you know what? A failure is not an end all be all. It's a way to continue to improve and become better at it. And in the way of saying failure, it's just basically you found one way it doesn't work, but you can find other ways it does work. That's something I just kind of do. I don't worry about how successful it is. It's just whatever it is, it is. And maybe I can take the old videos, put them in a compilation video, and maybe have their second hurrah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, the notion that, I guess particularly, I know it's true in the UK as well. It's true basically in Western society, that school is arguably kind of a place where kids go because their parents are working. And because of that, it becomes a place like that's less. Certainly, like in my lifetime, it's only ever been a place where you get prepared for a certain set of assessments that you sit, and then you sit them, and then it's done, and what is actually there. Like, I was talking with my friend last night in Brighton about this exact thing, just like, what are the point of the grades that you get? Like, what do they actually do? And
right.
I suppose this is where I admit, you don't know my profession, do you?
No.
My day job. Like,
no, I don't.
The voice acting thing, this is not a profession for me. This is something I enjoy doing, but it is indeed a hobby. I don't consider myself to be good enough, professional enough to earn anything from this.
Yeah, that's the same here.
But I do. My day job is I'm a teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I do think about that kind of stuff a lot. Like, what is education about? What should it be about? Is it right now how it should be? And I think quite a lot of people would agree that the answer is no.
Yeah.
So I do totally see that, and I see that from the perspective of someone who knows that there are plenty of people who just are not very good teachers, and do perpetuate this sort of mentality of, well, it's just let's prepare for the next exam group, and then it's finished, and then we'll just move on to the next exam group, and there's anyway, so we're going off on a massive tangent, but
I know. I'm so terrible, Dad. I do apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm enjoying it. Like that.
Just getting into some really deep content here.
yeah, it's the best kind.
Oh, for sure.
No one's asking. Oh, okay. Earlier on, you were talking about YouTube, and you got a letter from them saying that you could monetize your content.
Yeah.
Is this like an example of dragons showing their age? Because do you think YouTube sends out letters anymore? Is that a thing? No one's asking that.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, if my dog's channel gets up in the subscriber count and view count, then maybe I'll know for sure. But now that you can't just do it simply by subscriber amount anymore, it's gonna take a bit.
Yeah. And just to remind everybody, Dragon made a YouTube channel for their dog because that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
You kind of intimated this earlier on because you discussed sort of seeing stuff done on TwoAllNighters. How do you feel about comic dubbing, like as a concept?
I think it's awesome. Like, it does a lot of good for content creators. Like, for example, here, let's talk about Mr. Amazing VA. I know he's part of the TwoAllNighters team. There's been plenty of comic dubs he's done that I've animated. Like, again, like there's there was a couple of ones that were comics done by Ender Party that he's dubbed. I actually have a few of those on my channel, and the way that Mr. Amazing portrayed all the characters was awesome. And it was thanks to Mr. Amazing's talent that I actually got into Ender Party's content and started consuming it on a regular basis, and I love it. Like, to me, I think comic dubbers allow content creators who made comics and that the opportunity to shine and just be known. Like, that was... I think it's a really good thing. But also on that side, like, if they're not crediting the creators properly or they're doing a really bad job, they don't really do the comics any justice. So the way I see it is this is great for the creators, but if you credit, that is. If you don't credit, well, that's just stinky poo-poo.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
Yeah. That's fair.
If you don't credit, that's just no good.
I got that reference. If someone dubs your comic in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. Oh my god, amazing. Yeah, that's cool. I guess I mean I've said this to guests before, particularly like artists that we've had on. That obviously sometimes you can feel like, well, I'm making a video using this content, using this artwork.
Yeah.
But that you don't really feel fully in ownership of it because you didn't make it yourself. We've had rare examples of like people on the TwoAllNighters team who are artists and they make a comic and then we use it, and that feels like, okay, we've made this in-house. That does happen, but most of the stuff we make is created by artists who exist outside TwoAllNighters. And that's I guess that's one of the reasons why the fandom lives was kind of conceived. It's like, well, why don't we have a dialogue with these people? Like, more than just sending them a message on freaking Instagram to say, can we use this? To which they'll say yes. You know?
Right.
No, let's have more of a dialogue.
I guess I'm kind of biased in that way too, because like I make content of other people's content, which made content of other people's content. But the one thing that sets me differently is that I put a little bit of a creative spin on what the comic displays, because in the comics there's only a certain amount of panels, but then I add something a little bit more detailed to it. For example, I'm animating a comic that was made by Muska. It was basically where a Nightmare had kitty paws put on his tentacles by Dream. And all it just had is where he puts it on there and he gets angry and that's it. But I was going to have where Dust takes out a cell phone and starts recording them, and then you just hear sounds of them getting beaten up in the background.
Yeah, amazing. I've done things similar to that as well, like just tiny little bits and pieces. Like, I don't know, we have on TwoAllNighters a little screen that appears at the beginning of every dub saying who the artwork's by, and the fact that you can look at that content in the description below. And generally it's just a thing that appears for a few seconds, disappears, and then the comic dub starts. But towards the end of last year, when I was kind of tailing off the editing work so much, I was doing smaller pieces, but I was trying to make them a little bit more creative with the fact that sort of that thing had to appear at the start of the dub, but I was putting sound in the background, like sound effects and extra dialogue. So there was one where Sans starts the comic by saying, "You be dead where you stand," in the restaurant scene from the original game. So what I did was, because that was the first panel of the comic, I had a fade in of Sans' voice kind of delivering that entire speech. Right. And then so as it kind of fades in, then bam, the first comic panel starts and it's "You be dead where you stand," and it makes sense because you've been hearing him deliver the rest of the speech up to that point. Yeah. Does that make sense? And then another similar thing is that like another dub we did based on Undertale, whereby Fel Papyrus and Fel Undine are talking about the human approaching, and the comic starts in the middle of a dialogue between them. Whereas I basically added the start of that dialogue, at the beginning of the comic dub. So again, there's nothing on the screen except for, this is the artist. This is where you can find the details of where this art comes from. But in the background, there's sound effects, there's whistling winds, there's footsteps in the snow, and there's the voice of Fel Papyrus going, "Captain Undine, the human is approaching." And to me, it makes it feel more sort of alive, I guess. Like it's more of
it's like
a whole
more
scene.
Immersive.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. But obviously you do things that are in a similar way because, and you go a step forward because, you animate, which is way beyond what I can do. So super cool. Another tangent.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like, actually, I think if I recall correctly, I think TwoAllNighters was the very first dubbing channel I came across aside from Starbot Dubs. So I think it was because of you guys. Like, that was where I started doing more Undertale content and animating your things. And I didn't ask for permission, but I still credit it because I'm like, well, I know I didn't ask, but I'm sure they'd appreciate seeing an animated piece of their work. Because I mean, if I made a comic and someone dubbed it, like, that's pretty sick. I love that. Like, Sans Comic TV actually dubbed a few of my comics, and it was interesting to see how they interpreted the voices. Some of them, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest here, some of them weren't that great. Others were all right, but it's just always cool seeing other people like try and make different iterations of your work or interpret in a way so much different from you. It's really cool. and that's also where I take a step further and also put my own spin on things too.
Yeah. Have many people like dubbed your comics?
Just Sans Comic TV. I think there was Dr. Weedgaster was another one. It was a really small channel.
Yeah.
They are, I don't know, maybe they didn't. No, they didn't dub it. They just put in a compilation, I think. But yeah, no, I think Sans Comic TV has been the only one to really dub my stuff. Yeah. Although, granted, I've had a bunch of your guys actually do voice acting for me, which I can't ever be thankful enough for. Like, Dave does an amazing Sans voice. Let me just state that right now. And Mr. Amazing does amazing, like, Swap Blue and Ink voices. Like, I pretty much see Mr. Amazing and I say, yeah, that's totally Ink.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess for a lot of people, Dave is to some degree the iconic Sans, and Amazing is the iconic Blue.
And the Poo Poo Man.
Indeed. Yes, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. Wait. Ah, this is nice.
Yeah, it is.
Is there anything else like that majorly comes to mind on what we're talking about, really?
I know you had a question in our thing here about, like, if I ever played Undertale / Deltarune.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually have never played the games.
Oh, right. Oh, really?
Yeah. Really.
Okay. So,
okay.
Do you
So
know?
here's
Do you
the
know?
story.
Do you know the plot?
Oh yeah. No, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Story here.
Go for it.
Yeah. So the first time I seen Undertale, it wasn't even an Undertale playthrough. It was actually through Vanos Gaming. I was watching them play a Gmod Death Run map, and then I saw Sans and Papyrus, who at the time I saw were just these two fancy-looking, interesting skeleton characters. And I'm like, huh, those look cool. Where are those from? So I go to look in the tags for this one video, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's Undertale. Where have I seen that before? So I went to go on the Jacksepticeye's video, and lo and behold, there's his playthrough.
Yeah.
So I watched his playthrough, like, from the beginning, the regular one, to the genocide ending, and I got hooked, because the way he did the narratives was just perfect, and it got me really hooked in the story, because when I first peeked at it, I was just kind of like, oh, this looks boring, and then I kind of peeked off, and then Vanos Crew started playing a survival map, and I was just watching Papyrus and Sans die to these really hilarious memes, and I'm like, oh, okay, these characters look interesting. And then, yeah, I watched the playthrough, and then I got into Undertale and made my very first Undertale animation. I think that was the first year that Undertale came out. I think.
Yeah, like 2015, 2016-ish.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a fan of Jacksepticeye?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, the Vanos Crew. Not Mini-Lad, of course, but that's a topic for a different day. But yeah, no, all those big YouTubers there, mostly.
So what is it about these guys that that appeals to you?
Well, Vanos Gaming, he's hilarious because he just mucks around with his buddies and he trolls a lot. He's also a Canadian YouTuber, so I guess maybe I'm a little biased in that.
Oh, yeah, bit of Canada bias there, eh?
Get her gone. Let's get her. Let's go. Go on the banana bus. And there was like, I remember one time I was watching a video and it's like, DJ, that's a toilet. They accidentally did the kill command. And just see the earphones drop away from the toilet. It just disappear. That was funny. Like, the stuff like that is just hilarious. And then Markiplier, love him because he's like, well, not literally love, but you know what I mean. I like him because he's just like always happy and he's also goofy. Apparently he's got ADHD too, so like I vibe with that energy. And then Jacksepticeye, well, he's just a funny Irishman that yells a lot. Like, how can you not love that?
Yeah, he's really funny. I'm of all of those guys, I think Jacksepticeye is the guy I've watched most consistently, just because I don't know, it's just the way everything he does, everything he puts up is just so overwhelmingly positive. And no one's victimized by any of the things that he puts on. It's all anyone can access it, anyone can find it funny, anyone can engage with it. It's great.
My favorite snippets is when those guys do like the whole laugh thing or try not to laugh challenge. Like Mark's laugh is contagious as heck, and then you got Jacksepticeye. He's like laughing at random things like straight freaking water and stuff like that. And then PewDiePie with Jacksepticeye is just a total treat to watch because they just muck around. You just see these two guys mucking around with random air guns and stuff like that, doing, two young guy things. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's just, I love watching them.
Do you have any other, like, obviously we're talking about the YouTube space quite a lot. And it makes sense that you and I would be on this space considering, what we do and the fact that this is the main outlet for our creativity. Do you have any other interests, like, outside of this space?
Well, I love to swim a lot. Trying to think what else I've got that I've interest in. I draw a lot, obviously. Like, even when I'm not doing YouTube, I'm posting stuff on my DeviantArt or something like that. I'll cook once in a while. I like doing nature walks. I like picking wild blueberries. But yeah, no, I love to boat too and fish. Like, I love fishing. I've actually filleted my first fish 2 years ago. I filleted a jackfish, or what we call a northern pike. It's just kind of a Saskatchewanian slang there. We call them jackfish.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's not only fishing, but it's also preparing the fish once you've caught it.
Oh yeah, like jackfish fillets, they're a pain in the butt to do because they have so many little tiny bones, kind of like a milkfish. Yeah, like that's a kind of a Filipino food, but yeah, they've got a lot of little tiny bones. So if you eat it with a bone in it, it feels like you got like a cat whisker stuck in your mouth. So it's really annoying trying to get that out. But if you got like a pickerel or a perch, it's not near as bad to clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow,
but that's good. And
that's
I love
really cool.
boating too.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
that's amazing. So are there lakes nearby where you live and stuff?
Oh, like Saskatchewan's one of those places that's known for its lakes. There's lakes everywhere, but it's even harder finding a lake that doesn't have leeches in it. That's the one gripe I have about this province.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like them either. I am exactly the same way.
That's grim.
I'd tell a story about it, but we'd be here for a long while if we did.
So you're from Canada?
I am, yes, the land of mousses and maple syrup.
Est-ce que vous parlez français?
What?
Obviously not. That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm not from Quebec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. I know a little bit of Spanish, though.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Tagalog. If I try to type the Tagalog, though, I have a friend that's like, you're butchering it. That's not how it's spelled.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This is fun.
Yeah.
I guess there's a couple more bits to do.
For sure.
The first is, I guess, kind of closing thoughts and arguments. We've talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. I think I'm not sure that we have had any other guests that have any interest in fishing, so that's unique and that's new and that's exciting. And I wish you all the best with your filleting. That sounds legitimately awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been able to fish this year, so sadly.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'm probably the most redneck creator you're gonna find. To be honest with you, fun fact. I love my duct tape. What can I say?
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Do you have any closing sort of thoughts? Any closing reflections, advice? If there's anyone in the chat who might be interested in kind of doing artwork or animation, what would your advice be to them?
Well, the first thing is that just a big disclaimer. If you're doing animation, expect to invest a lot of time in it because animation is a arduous task to do. Like, even for me to do a 15-second animation, I'm looking at anywhere from a couple weeks to a few months, depending on how intricate it is. So know that in advance. Second thing, don't let people tell you to not do your art, tell you your art's crap. Like, if there's always going to be people out there that don't like your content. The big thing is to just not let that get to you and just to remain positive and just see to it, like, to finish up your tasks and do what makes you happy. Like, don't force animation if you don't feel like doing it. And do like me if you have to, where you do multiple things and just kind of jump from thing to thing. Fourth thing is work hard at it and continue to do well. Like, yeah, your art's when you first start, it's gonna be garbage, but you'll get better and better. And next thing you know, it'll be like, did I make this? Like, what? But yeah, the biggest thing is just commitment to the thing you want to get finished, and the reward after finishing it is the biggest payoff when doing animation work. And when other people like it, that's an absolute bonus. But if they don't like it, don't let that get you down. Do what you want to do. like I said, do what you're gonna do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody or yourself, and you're taking care of yourself. That's the big thing, the big takeaway.
Yeah. Awesome. Speaks wisdom. I am going to send you a message over Discord.
Okay.
The final section of every Fandom Live stream is the Dob Nobble challenge.
Oh.
The Dob Nobble challenge. I'm about to send this to you now. Here you go. This is a word of my own invention. Please read it. Off you go.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't like
yes. Oh, yes.
Incredible, bad, dibble, dribble, drab, bad, dobbly, dobble, nooble. I sound like I'm having a stroke.
Nice. That's the takeaway. That's brilliant. Well done. That was a solid 4 out of 10. Well done. Respectable.
Oh.
That's a bit mean of me. I'm sorry. Cool. Well done.
Oh.
You have passed into the annals of history, of legend,
Yay.
as a fellow Dob Nobbler.
I feel so special considering this is also like I'm the last person to be in this season of the stream here, Fandom Live. So I guess I feel special in a double, right?
I mean, oh my goodness. There was something that I meant to talk about earlier, but we missed it. But what I will say, as we're approaching the end of this stream, is that there's a closing little thing for me to discuss briefly before we go our separate ways. If you want to jump into the fan server to have a chat with us in the VC and the TwoAllNighters fan server, please do. You're more than welcome. We're happy to say hi.
Yeah, I'll probably pop in there.
Yeah. Maybe do some streaming of drawing or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to dump on my other computer though, because I'm on the laptop right now, so I have to do a little computer hopping.
That's okay. Computer hopping happens. But what I will say is the Fandom Lives is a streaming series about, well, the fandom, right? About the Undertale fandom, but it's also about community. You guys would have, if you're on the fan server, you would have seen that Blair put up a notification a week or two ago about our admin on the server, Jonathan Topside. Jonathan Topside had a kind of long-term illness and passed away a couple of weeks ago. This has been a tough thing for all of us. Jonathan was a part of this team. He was a part of this community. He donated to this series multiple times, extraordinarily generously.
Very generous.
Yeah, and he was a wonderful person to laugh with in our voice chats and calls and kind of hangouts on the server. Obviously, we're taking our time to sort of come to terms with it, really. So thank you for bearing with us. We haven't been putting so much content on the channel recently. That is the reason why. Thank you so much for your patience with us. And yeah, this is what community is about. We go through the highs and we go through the lows together.
Yeah, no, Jonathan was like truly an amazing guy. Like I only knew this guy for 4 months, probably not even, and it felt like I knew him for a lifetime. He came onto my stream once, like there was barely anybody on, and he donated a decent sum of money, and I asked him like, hey, do you want anything for this? And he's like, no, I couldn't possibly figure out like what I want, so just give it to one of your subscribers or viewers, because I don't know what to do with it. And I thought that was absolutely the most sweetest and selfless thing he's done. And I was like, I went back in my DMs and I was cleaning up and I almost like cried just looking at this, and just like, you know, he's not around anymore, but he left a big Jonathan-sized hole in our hearts, and he will be very missed. Like, he was the reason Monkey Sans was invented too, and I remember Professor Rad being of that too, and I'm just so glad I got to know the guy while he was around. It's just, you know, sometimes life's cruel like that, but we always got to remember all the good stuff that we've had with him, and that we got to experience his kindness and his generosity. In
that respect, the the next episode of the Fandom Lives is likely to be a memorial for Jonathan of some shape and form. Give us some time to kind of reflect on how we can do that most respectfully, and how the admin and sort of practical elements are going to work. So, there's no date in place right now, but that's likely to be the next Fandom Lives and the last Fandom Lives of this second season. But yeah, for the time being, thank you so much, Dragon, for sharing your time. That was a really, really enjoyable chat. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thank you for watching, everyone. I'm glad that you guys have been able to join us. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your help. And yeah, we will see you next time. We'll pop it in the fan server, the details as to when the next kind of stream is going to be. And yeah, we'll see you then for the next Fandom Lives. Take care, and if you want to jump over to VC now, we're about to jump over. Give us a few minutes to do so. Blessings upon you, and see you very soon. Ta-ra.
See you soon, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.